双方球员停止练习。All the player please start practicing. Thank you. Practicing 直男元年，欢迎在电视机前或者是透过任何转播媒体来关注我们直男元年编号25场次这一场地主桃园领航员来出战富邦勇士队，这也是农历年前的封关之战。而领航员在桃园巨蛋连续4周的主场闭门开打。 相当可惜的，一直无法让乘客们进场来享受球团为大家所精心打造温馨而且多元的飞行体验。当然，在没有各位的热血加油声，让场上少了些许的激情，但球员奋战的某一个瞬间，依然都在为透过转播画面关心领航员的各位全力以赴。 也是让领航员主场吞下第1败的富邦勇士，相同的球队，今天桃园领航员将要追求不一样的结果，是12了 P.LEAGUE。接下来的赛事要来开打之前，马上要来为各位介绍今年来访客队台北富邦勇士登陆球员名单。 为各位介绍台北富邦勇士球衣背号0号 number 0赖廷恩 ，number 1 1号林书伟 ，number 8 8号周桂宇 ，number 9 9号郭少杰 ，number 13 13号林梦雪 ，number 14 14号蔡文成。 Number 23 Brandon Smart 石伯恩，台北富邦勇士本场次先发5人 ，Number 2 2号简伟如 ，Number 3 3号张忠宪 ，Number 17 17号 Michael Singletary，and Number 21 21号曾祥军 ，Number 32 30号2号 Igor Zaitsev。 为各位介绍台北富邦勇士总教练许晋哲、执行教练吴永仁、助理教练江志正、魏维、林伟浩。强敌来袭，台北富邦勇士再度来到桃园巨蛋，领航员全员注意！
桃园领航员航空马上就要起飞喽！ 敬请各位乘客尽快就座，与我们一起胜利领航，飞向梦想的天空 ，Go！
是你的桃园起飞，为各位介绍桃园领航员登陆球员 ，Number 7球衣背号7号前锋，来自南山高中明道大学跳人，190公分，林耀宗。 Number 18球衣背号18，来自南山高中国立台湾艺术大学小福星后卫，180公分，赖国伟。球衣背号23号 ，Number 23，在新中学辅仁大学前锋，求胜欲望强烈的阿环陈敬环。Number 25 25号，松山高中。 国立体育大学篮下终结者 center 的中锋202公分林正。Number 29 29号昆山高中台湾体育运动大学 UBA 得分王前锋188公分张坤玉。Number 50 50号 center 香港台湾的 from Taoyuan University 富国神 Q Quincy Davis 戴维斯。Number 63 63号后卫来自南山高中明道大学后场指挥官183公分彭俊彦。本场的桃园 P.LEAGUE Starting Lion from University University of Miami Number 5 5号 forward 全方位的多功能武器 Evan Number 6 6号后卫来自南山高中国立体育大学的拼命三郎180公分，关达拉梅拉关达佑。Number 28 28号。来自松山高中文化大学国产的巡弋飞弹前锋台湾阿瑶施俊尧。Number 30 30号来自南山高中中州科技大学中锋重型轰炸机碰碰陈冠全。Number 40 40号 from Rutgers University New Brunswick 位肌肉硬汉 center 206公分 ，Teddy Chen Magic Chen。桃园领航员总经理陈信安，执行教练杨怡峰，助理教练黄启峰，体能教练穆建宏。双方球员相握手致意，这场精彩赛事马上要来展开喽！两队最后的热身练习。为各位介绍本场是辛苦3位执法裁判老师 ，Crew Chief 主裁判员洪永玉，Umpire 1第一检察员黄正峰，Umpire 2第二检察员林银峰。
Ladies and gentlemen, seniors and youth, the Lunar New Year is upon us. So enjoy one last Plus League game before we head to the break. We are in Taoyuan where the home Pilots broke their 3-game home skid and look to head to the new year with a weekend sweep. I'm Ryan Chen, your English play-by-play broadcaster. I'm joined by Coach Ben Metcalf. Ben, my banda, we missed you yesterday.
Yeah, great to be back, Ryan. It's going to be a great game.
Heading into the arena in Taoyuan where we see the matchup card tonight, Taipei Fubon Braves against the Taoyuan Pilots. The 25th game of the Plus League season, but roughly making us the halfway point. We'll be taking a whole week off if you're taking the normal business hours and just for the weekend if you're talking about this Plus League basketball game. With these afternoon games, the Formosa Taishing Dreamers make it to 5 wins, creating more separation with the 4th place Hsinchu Jekpo Lioneers down at 3-10. On hand, we have the 1st and 2nd place matchup, the Braves with 10 wins and the Pilots with 6 wins. Standings kind of creating a little bit more separation, 1, 2, 3, 4, Coach Ben, but the games on the court, some good, some bad. It's all part of the pro game.
Yeah, definitely. The first game of today's matchups was the last place teams. Today we have, like you said, a matchup between the first 2 place teams. Last week they played to a kind of a blowout, but I'm sure this game is going to be a little different result. On
your screen to the left is Corey, that's Ha Xiaoyuan, and on the right that's Taipei. Doing the Mandarin broadcast. We're going to carry this game in almost all English. Let's see if we can fit in a Mandarin lesson or 2, and maybe if we get fancy, some Taiwanese as well. What's not a surprise from the Braves is their slow start. Well, last night they got down by as much as 21 in the first half. Typically they have their comebacks in many of their games, but like in the other games that they lost, they didn't even take the lead. On your screen now is the graphics for that special records. 42 points last week against those Dreamers, but then only 15 points, shooting 31%. Now against the Pilots, 28 points on 44% shooting. We'll look to see how they get started. Ben, it wasn't like they weren't trying to come back, but with the game with 4 minutes left to go, down by 8, that's what this seems to be their MO and what they're comfortable with.
Yeah, they tend to dig themselves into a big hole every game, but then sometimes they're able to come back. Last night was those same problems that kind of bit them in the butt. A lot of turnovers for them, 24 as a team, 9 by their big man Zaitsev alone, so that's something they're going to have to fix if they've got a chance today.
Now the Pilots have consistently tried to get one message across: play with confidence and shoot with confidence. Yesterday, on your screen, Zhang Gengyu, number 29, took advantage. The 106-year UBA scoring champ, that's the university level of basketball. He was a former Formosa Dreamer last year. Now has made his way to the Pilots, where he stood out last night with 27 points in all. Making a lot of mid-range, mixing it up inside as well.
Yeah, a lot of these guys switching to new teams, it's going to take them a little bit of time just to kind of get used to their new team and their system and their teammates. So it's obviously that Zhang Gengyu, number 29, is fitting into form, and it's just in time for these Taoyuan Pilots.
Also contributions from 9 from Lin Yaozong and Manimal, 8 from Peng Peng, Chen Guanchen, 11 from Si Jingyao, and 9 assists from the Angry Bird, Peng Junyin. So, Coach, everybody played, and pretty much everyone got on the stat sheet. Of course, most notably, Zhang Gengyu. It's got to be a boost for the team to see that kind of production everywhere around.
Yeah, and that's how these Pilots like to play. They like to play a team game. They get a boost from their imports, but again, they like to get their locals involved, get the ball swinging around the perimeter, and letting everybody have a chance to touch the ball.
Now, considering how they defeat the Pilots, previously, that was January 24th. That's Zheng Xiangjun on the screen, being the young center trailer, scoring a lot in transition. And the next time they faced the Pilots, January 30th, Joseph Lin was the hero. 7 of 7 for 3-point land, 27 points. When it comes to the Braves, it's kind of a matter of who will step up because they rotate so many guys and they have so much talent on the team.
Yeah, we just mentioned how these Pilots like to have a lot of their local players have contributions. The team with the best locals in the league is these Fubon Braves. Again, they have a deep rotation and nobody knows who's going to step up, including their coaching staff. We see Joseph Lin has had some big games this season, none bigger than his last game against these Pilots. So we'll see if he's ready to lead them to another victory today.
You mentioned yesterday the Braves took the loss to the Dreamers. Now besides Garcia, no Braves had a statistically significant game. Ben, I imagine Coach Roger has more to say about their defense and effort and intensity, allowing the Dreamers to shoot 40% from the field and allow 16 offensive rebounds.
Yeah, and a lot of that, these games before Lunar New Year, it's just focus. Everybody's ready to take their vacation, but we still have one game left on the schedule. Everybody's got to stay focused and get a big win right now.
The starting lineups for the Braves from left to right, Zhang Zongxian, that's Jet, Jianwei Lewis, Michael Singletary, one of the fours, and the other, Chen Xiangjun, the aforementioned Jack, and Igor Zaisev will jump center. For the Pilots, Guan Dayo is back in the starting lineup, Sijia number 28, Davon Reed, number 5, Kadeem Jack, number 40, and listing on the right side of the graphic is Peng Peng, Chen Guanquan, number 30. I heard an interesting statistic from one of my colleagues at the Plus League, Nancy, who does a great job with our social media. She figured out that the Pilots haven't won against the Braves all season, but also haven't won in their orange uniforms either. So both things, hopefully for them to break through.
Great things to look out for in today's game.
Swinging over to Jet. His shot from 3 a little deep. Davon Reed pokes the rebound to a teammate. Zigging out, not very accurate last night. Starts 1 for 1.
And he's one of those guys who's a streaky shooter. And after he sees that first one go through, typically he has decent first quarter.
So 4 for 9, not too bad, but only 2 for 6 from the free throw line. Loose ball, Peng Peng collects. There's Zigging out again. They call him Taiwan Ayao. Kadeem Jack on the block, getting it up to Reed. Now to Guan Dayo. He only played 10 minutes last night. Peng Peng, the right side, he swishes it.
But again, we see Zaisev with another turnover for his first of the game, leading to a Pilots possession. Peng Peng stepping out and hitting a big 3.
Already a minute in. Pilots establishing a lead. Michael Singletary. A little bit of a hand check by Guan Dayo. First foul of the game.
That's something number 6 is going to have to pay attention to, as we see Ayao hitting the first 3 here in transition. He's going to be undersized regardless of who he plays today against the Braves. Got to stay out of foul trouble while still being busy.
Swinging it around, Jet. He's got Kadeem Jack on him. They'll try to mismatch from, that's Jack Chen Xiangjun on Davon Reed. He'll put up a shot, running out of time, airballs it.
Yeah, not really his game there, being in the paint.
Jack through the middle, lays it in.
Great job by these Pilots getting out in transition, and once again, we see these Braves digging themselves a quick hole in the first quarter.
Singletary with the shot, he hits, getting the Braves on the board. Two bigs nearby. Zigging out, asks for the screen, and it gets doubled in the corner. Singletary pokes it away, and will be a turnover. Zaisev running the lane, left-handed finish.
That's the similarity we see between these two teams. Their bigs are going to have great opportunities in transition, as we see Peng Peng sealing Jack early in transition. And these teams both love to run their wings wide, so their bigs are going to have a lot of room right there in the paint in transition.
Connection from Singletary to Zaisev. Nice job in the early rim run. Chen Guanquan listed at 198, has started 2 games in a row as Guan Dayo misses the floater. Playing with a lot of pace. Here's Jet through the middle to Lewis in the corner. He pumps and fakes. Went through 2 Braves to get to Jet. Floater clanks off the side. So he spoke to Xing'an pregame, and he said he insists that he liked his Pilots to play with more pace, mainly to get out of a defensive mindset. Of course, the Braves will play fast, but the Pilots need to counter that as well. Kadeem Jack, 1-on-3, left side, and banks it in.
Great job by Jack taking advantage of another Braves turnover in transition. And sloppy start here for these Fubon Braves.
0 for 7 last night, already starting 2 for 2. Zhang Zongxian getting trapped in the corner, but gets it out. Lewis, fortunate to collect that one. Looking for some room. Singletary from the left wing and in. Showing the hot hand.
Taking the night off yesterday. Off to a good start today.
10-7 the score. Singletary already with 5 points. Kadeem Jack bumping through the middle, now giving it up. Guan Dayo from the left corner, and he hits. High percentage game so far.
can see the Pilots just continuing their hot shooting after yesterday's blowout win. Doing the same thing here early.
Lewis, pick and roll with this, Chen. Loaded up to the right and nothing but net.
Great, nice hesitation by Lewis, but again, great roll right there by Jack, taking the defense with him, creating that space.
Ball out of bounds. Will be Pilots' ball. A lot of back and forth so far. Only 5 missed shots on 14 attempts combined for the two teams. Reed from way up high. Will shoot the 3. Jet challenging from behind. Singletary comes away with it. Up ahead, no one there. Chen didn't get his head turned around. More transition for Kadeem Jack. Zaitsev there with a stop. There they go. Lewis from the left corner and hits.
We talked about the Pilots GM wanting them to play with pace. These Braves are obviously going to play at the fastest pace in the league. It's just a matter of whether they can keep these turnovers lower.
Driving baseline, Guan Dayo lays it up for 2. Out of Nasan High, so is a number of Pilots. Su Jingyao with a smart hand. He'll bring it up. Took too long with it. Now it'll be a steal and a turnover. Jet the other way with 2 points.
Once again, we see Zaitsev not very turnover prone, but in these last 2 games, just being very sloppy and careless with the ball.
Kadeem Jack doesn't want to take Zaitsev, so he'll rotate it out. Pushing foul on Jet. Guan Dayo cutting. What do you think it is with the rotations? Guan Dayo playing very little last night, but getting the start.
Yeah, these Pilots actually, they love to bring some people off the bench you'd never expect to. Yesterday we had an odd starting lineup. Today, same thing, but it's worked out for them so far.
That'll be a timeout on the floor. We'll be back after this. Thanks for watching the Plus League. With the tap of a finger, you can help the Plus League. Pressing the thumbs up, the like button on our YouTube broadcast will help us get seen by more people. Your support means the world to us in the Plus League, so thank you for that. Peeking into the Braves huddle, Coach Roger Shijingze got words for his team. Right now tied at 14. In the background, Bees leans to Jay with a blue hoodie and someone being in the yellow hoodie. 2 former Chinese Taipei stalwarts. Kadeem Jack off to a good start. He leads the team in rebounding, 13.4 a game, and second on the team in scoring, 19.3. Good to see him. Good start. So is Su Jingyao. Maybe a little shook for confidence last night's game.
Yeah, Jack dealing with some injuries right here in the first half of the P.LEAGUE season, but like you said, just battling it out, try to get to the second half of the season.
Number 63, Peng Chuyan, call him Angry Bird. He's in the game. He led the game with 9 assists last night. Reed floats it up, fouled, and one. That time Zaitsev. A little bit late with a closeout.
Yeah, it's been really strange to see for Big Z. Again, typically a very smart player. A player who does not get called for a lot of fouls. Obviously, we talked about his turnover difficulties these last 2 games, and right there, just getting a little bit too far under Davon Reed on that drive, able to put it in off the glass.
Those 2 points for Reed. Jack pokes it to Davis, the 2 of them playing together. last night, talked with James Mao, who was yesterday's commentator, the lineup alchemy that having Davis start off the bench, commits the turnover, Jet will go all the way.
Yeah, obviously yesterday they were trying to put Pompong on the bigger to beat, letting him start the game. Obviously with good results, they decided to go with that same rotation today.
Another turnover by the Pilots, and here come the Braves. Setting up high-low, but no opening yet. The Jet was sitting out on him, gets the screen from Zaitsev. Goes to his mid-range. Funky, and shoots it long. Reed with the rebound. Turnover again by the Pilots.
Again, if these teams keep turning over the ball at this rate, nobody's going to be able to pull away. Again, both teams giving the other team a lot of opportunity.
Ling Mongshuren comes into the game. It's Ray, number 13. And so will Joseph Lin. We mentioned him before. Sporting some pink basketball shoes. Backdoor to Jet. Floats it from the right side, missing everything. That's a Mianbao.
Great job by Ayao denying him. Getting offense out of their defense. Great job by these Pilots.
Jack slams it in for two. The Pilots take the lead back. Zaitsev, a little bit of room down the left side. Chooses to pass it right into Sijingao's hands. Quincy Davis playing point for the fast break. Nothing opens up. Slip of the hand by Reed. Keeps the possession. Davis from three. Strong. Almost a rebound for the Pilots. Instead, they commit a foul.
We can see these Pilots, after taking a lot of time off at the beginning of the season, Angry Bird comes in and immediately has a defensive presence. So with him and Ayao, with these turnovers, they create these fast break opportunities for the Pilots.
Back in the game is Singletary. Again, Kadeem Jack playing with good energy. To be dealing with his injury a little bit better. Mongshu throws it right into the Pilots bench. That's a turnover by the Braves. The turnover margin for the teams in the season. For the Pilots, it's about controlling the basketball. For the Braves, a little bit it has to do with how many possessions they have per game. Davis hands off to Reed. He'll shoot from the corner right in front of us. Off target. Jet. Missing, but Zaitsev is right there. Underneath for two.
Good job by the big man running the floor hard. Able to capitalize off the Jet miss.
Deep. Nothing but net. That's Kadeem. No, that's Davon Reed. Excuse me.
It's the second time that these Pilots have just had a catch and shoot three in the half court. Something that these Braves have to pay attention to, knowing that these guys are shooters off the catch.
Pick and roll. Zaitsev down low. A lot of attention. Kadeem Jack right there for the block. Singletary coaxes the foul on the rebound.
Great job on the initial block by Kadeem Jack. Unfortunately not able to control that offensive rebound. Singletary able to sneak in.
Quite a block fest in yesterday's game. 7 for the Pilots, 7 for the Lioneers, of which 6 came from the 7'3" Hashim to beat.
Yeah, and Ryan, that's the big key for these Pilots. They have both Kadeem Jack and Quincy Davis down there on the post. Great wingspan, able to affect all these shots. Tough to score against these Pilots in the paint.
Playing from the free throw. Braves still down by 2. Davis from the top. Manimal's in the game, number 7. Running into Zhang Geyu. Mentioned him in the pregame. He got this shot blocked, and the Braves with rebound. Singletary with power. Leaves it short.
Trying to find Davon Reed's body in transition, but once again, these Pilots come right back at you on the defensive end.
Right in front of us, we see Xu Jingze asking for a holding foul. Davis clearing the lane for the layup. Singletary from the top, short. Here comes Angry Bird. one of their better shooting guards, but also leading the team, leading the league in assists with 5.5. Zhang short with his shot. Lewis, fouled by Peng Junyan. When did it start becoming more prevalent, Coach? The reach around, steal it when you get, the dribbler got by you.
That's one of those ones where if you can't get it on the initial possession, you're going to try and make it up. Getting beat, poke it from behind. With that switching defense, that allows you to do that a lot as a coach.
Getting it to Joseph. Screen by Zaitsev. He thought about it. Now going with a spinning wild pass to Lewis. Collects it. Shot too strong. Rebound Reed. Played 45 minutes yesterday, but still pretty decent energy. Tipped around. Lewis to Joseph. Here they go. He'll try the three. Bricks that one to the right.
Questionable shot opportunities here in transition. Again, leading that pace.
Made shot. Another 3 points. Davon Reed. That is yesterday's game. He has 8 points to lead the field.
Davon's one of those guys you can let him shoot in transition anytime he wants. Yeah, this Pilots team's leading scorer. Yeah, any shot's a good shot for him.
The early hot shooting gave way a little bit right now. Pilots 11 for 20. The Braves 8 for 19. A lot of assists thanks to the transition, right? Trying to bouncing the ball from side to side and up the floor.
Yeah, obviously these Braves in the first quarter already with 6 turnovers, 3 by their big man. That's going to let your opponent have a lot of those fast break opportunities. The Pilots doing a great job of taking advantage of them so far.
Braves call this timeout.
I'm sure in this timeout, Coach Rogers is telling them, please don't turn the ball over. Please don't turn the ball over, and please do not turn the ball over.
Is that what he's saying, Coach?
He may use a little more colorful language than I do, but I know we got some kids at home watching this broadcast.
A lot of players for the Braves coming along with the team. Mentioned Beast Lin Zijie, he's in the blue hoodie, sporting the Braves face mask, of course, being pandemic smart. No fans allowed in the arena here in Taoyuan because there's a cluster that developed out of one of their COVID-19 designated hospitals. Just trying to be smart here, so that's also something Xian expressed pregame is, of course, the team will have revenue losses, but the biggest losses for the fans of the Pilots and of the Plus League, because they have 11 straight home games here, only one of which was attended by fans, the first one.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you're just unlucky, again, with the timing and the way that the Pilots' home court schedule works. Unfortunate for the league and the fans, but again, the thing we're doing in Taiwan here is safety first for everything. Trying to make sure everybody's safe at home. Great play out of the timeout by Coach Rogers. So maybe he wasn't just telling them, please don't turn the ball over. He may have actually drawn a play there too.
Ray Lin with the 2 points. And Davon Reed, the handoff and shoots. Whistle first, offensive foul.
Yeah, we saw earlier in the game Coach Rogers getting on the refs about that Quincy Davis hold in transition. We see right in the refs work there as they get called for the offensive foul by Manimal on that Davon Reed 3-point attempt.
A little bit too handsy. Despite the made a shot, won't count in our scorebooks and on the scoreboard and everywhere else because the foul's committed first. So Zhang back in the game, he inbounds it.
These Braves are about to run the same play that they just ran out of the timeout. Let's see if the Pilots will be able to stop it.
Consecutive pick and roll. Joseph dribbling it a lot. Finally give it up. Lewis from the top. No openings until right here on the left side. His shot is wet.
Yeah, Lewis bailing the Braves out. Again, with Braylon and Jack in the game, not a lot of spacing for these Braves. Lewis able to find some space outside the 3-point line.
Zhang Yu, pick and roll with Pom Pom. Leading to Reed, slithering. Can't find some space. Right-handed shot is short. Q with a rebound. Finds his way inside. There's Davon Reed with a rebound and lays it in for 2.
That's the pressure that the Pilots put on you with Pom Pom and Q in the paint. Davon Reed able to sneak in for that other offensive rebound.
Singletary with the right hand. Jack on the other side for the rebound. Foul committed by Reed. Only 28.2 seconds left. Braves in the bonus.
You can see Mike Singletary not able to finish these last couple of possessions, but able to attract a lot of defenders, allowing Jack to sneak in on that weak side to get the offensive rebound opportunity.
First foul by Davon Reed. Andrew misses the first.
Yeah, the rookies had some good minutes here in this first quarter. Again, with Sung Won Ding being out of this game, being suspended by his own team, he stepped in and had some good minutes.
Jack gets way high for the rebound. 4-second shot clock, the first quarter clock difference. Pilots with the 4-point lead. Facing the Braves, now in a zone. Dangoyu cuts through the middle, floats it up. Off target and foul underneath. Davis has been asking for a little help from the referees.
And once again, these Pilots, Pum goes out of the game for Jack. Again, so many people crashing the offensive boards, put so much pressure on the defense to just find bodies. So we see Jack there, getting that left hand on Q's shoulder, not allowing him to jump. That's definitely a problem.
Impressive how much air the young man got. Six seconds left on the first quarter. Let's see what the Pilots draw. They get it to Jack. Up top to Guan Dayo. He rejects the opening to Davis from the left side. A little short with this three-point attempt. That'll be the end of the first quarter. Taoyuan Pilots trying to sweep their home weekend and send us to the Lunar New Year's. We'll be back after the break.
我觉得是很不容易的一个决定，因为其实我们的观众数这2天真的还蛮多的，可是因为疫情的关系，我觉得健康还是要摆在第一位。那也只能做，如果它是一个正确的决定，就往那个方向做啊。尤其我们桃园就是我们台湾的国门，那尤其是这次的疫情，刚好2个本土案例在桃园，那有必要我们就是做一个这个提前的防疫的标准，先把它做出来的，是有，我觉得是有需要，也有必要的。
Get the P.LEAGUE, the commemorative publication with features on your favorite Plus League players and coaches. Pre-order now on Bokwalai, that's books.com.tw, or Tumping, the famous bookstore in Sleet, or on the league site pleagueofficial.com/shop. And only on the Plus League official site can you have a chance at getting a poster signed by one of the players. Pilots will get the second quarter started on offense. Pump faking, receiving the bump. Guan Dayo with young Zhou Guiyu defending him with the yellow shoes. The jack from the elbow, way too strong off the backboard.
That's the problem with using somebody other than Jack's man as a defender. And he's going to be able to take that role. Jack's not going to have a lot of space to roll down the paint.
Joseph Lin cutting through the Mengxue. Patient, pump fakes and scores.
That's the second time Mengxue has done a great job on the weak side, just finding space as Joe drives baseline, able to finish with another layup.
The middle jack again, rejecting it. Pum really close. Not sure that pass did very much. Poking it around. Now there's a nice pick and roll. Pong lays it in.
Great little dump pass there by Taiwan Ayao, finding Pong on the nice roll.
Having some trouble on that end of the floor. Turned it into 2 points. Joseph probing. Yeah, loaded too strong. That's Josh. Joseph anticipating the pass, but just pokes it out of bounds. He thought it caromed off of Davon Reed behind him. See, low on the shot clock, the Braves overcommit.
That's the problem for the Braves. If Big Z is involved in this pick and roll, not a lot of help from these other locals able to protect the rim.
Dogoyu getting some early minutes. 22-year-old. Lewis gets the rebound. There's a lot of wing players for the Braves, so fortunate to see Dogoyu Josh get in the game. Some important minutes. Braves only down by 4. Joseph behind the back, through the middle, finding, there he is again. That's Ray.
Nice job once more, just finding room on the baseline. Joe doing a good job, not getting caught in the air, but keeping it alive. Finding his teammate for another assist.
On top, Pong shoots a high arcing shot and hits.
That's something Pong's gonna have anytime he wants this game. With Big Z, always gonna be in the paint, helping out on all those drives. Pong's gonna have those three-point available. He wants it.
Foul on the steal attempt. That's Zijingyao getting a replay. The rainbow.
Yeah, we just saw right there, Pong rolling. Ayao be able to find him. That time popping out. Ayao once again, a nice little hook pass.
That's the first team foul on the Pilots. Joseph with Kadeem Jack guarding. Still getting the pick. Pong almost had the steal, but instead called for the pushing foul.
Yeah, a little too aggressive there by Pong. Poked it away and then went through Joe's body. And when you weigh 3 times as much as somebody else, the ref's gonna see that body contact.
Zaitsev from the top. Hands it off to Joe. Getting by Guandayo to the rim. Rejects the shot, gets it out to Lewis from the left side. Too strong, but Joseph right there for the rebound. About 5'10", getting on the board. More through and through penetration. Pilot, see Joseph laid up short. Here comes Guandayo getting in the air and too wild with a pass.
Yeah, a little bit of miscommunication there. Guandayo thinking that Ayao was going to cut baseline. Instead, Ayao popping out for that 3. Leads to another turnover here in the first half of the
Try to do the 1-2 and then hop. Anyways, it was a mess.
Yeah, and the coaching staff agrees with you. So Guandayo to the bench, Angry Bird back in here to calm things down a little bit.
For the Braves, they have a surplus of wing players. For the Pilots, they have really, they rotate a couple of their young centers, Lingzi and Sun Xiao. This time, Lingzi registered for this evening's game. Sun Xiao saw limited minutes last night. Zaitsev down low. They had to resort to fouling him.
Yeah, Ayao a little late on that weak side rotation. Big Z always going to be ducking there.
The Braves have been playing with Zaitsev for a little bit longer time as opposed to a team like the Lioneers, who had Tabit and Wright only get to play in an official game at the start of the season. None of the preseason games. 3-point made. Braves get it to within 2. Jack tries to counter. Off the mark.
Looks like we're having a big man 3-point shooting contest. Pong, Zaitsev, and Kadeem Jack getting involved in it.
Through the middle, Jack is there with the block shot on Zaitsev.
Good job by Kadeem Jack on the weak side. We talked about with Ray Lin in the game, not a lot of space for those bigs. So Zaitsev steps out, hits the 3, And then on the next possession, again, with Ray not able to space out, Jack able to get that block on the rolling Zaitsev.
Yuri Zaitsev on the season, 27.5% from three-point range. Joseph gets it into Ray.
Again, we see Q not respecting Ray's outside shot at all.
Called for the carry. Yuri Zaitsev, he thought he was bumped.
That's going to be his 4th turnover of the game. Once again, these last 2 games, Big Z being very sloppy with the ball.
Pilots with less than 8 minutes. Still with a 2-point lead. Davon Reed taking his time with a 3-point attempt as off the mark.
Braves lucky there with that defensive miscommunication. Davon not able to hit the wide open 3.
Joseph rejects the shot, choosing to go with a pick and roll. There's Ray underneath, getting to the other side. Tough shot, tough angle.
Yeah, that time, once more, Joe able to get to the middle, but with Ray not being able to space, that time him on this weak side, not able to find any room for that layup.
From the baseline, Singletary gets it up to Ray. Close to the top, he misses. Another Brave is there for the rebound. Was that Singletary?
Yeah, once again able to sneak in for the offensive rebound. Once again being able to draw a foul. Once again getting sent to the line.
Getting around Davis just a little bit. Oh, basketball kind of slipped a little bit.
Singletary's going to find bodies on every shot attempt. We saw earlier in transition, he kind of pulled the chair out from under him. That time Q getting in his way, called for the foul.
Michael Singletary from Texas Tech. He's played in many places, most recently with the Mono Vampire in the ABL. Knocks in the free throw.
Michael Singletary was a staple there for that team in Bangkok. Again, veteran player who's been overseas. It took a little while for him to fit in with this Braves team, but we've seen in these past couple of weekends, he's had great performances.
Pom Pom got brushed in the nose.
It's okay, Pom Pom. Nobody's looking at that key to the face yours. We just want to see you make more threes.
Loose with the basketball, and here come the Braves with a 3-on-1. There's Singletary, patient, but blows the layup. That's a front count. Second attempt, rolls in for the and one.
Singletary padding his stats in transition there, purposely missing the layup to get another offensive rebound.
We should ask about that post-game. I don't think the players will admit to it. Might go into the calculus.
I'll let you ask that one in the post-game press conference, Ryan.
And the 3 points the old-fashioned way. Braves 36 to the Pilots 33. Sloppy with the basketball are the Pilots. Let's see how they counter. Zizing out, looks off a shot behind the back. Fancy right around Singletary and rattles it in.
Beautiful step back there by Taiwan Ayao. Able to create space, hit the shot over contested by Singletary.
Playing soft, Angry Bird will charge ahead looking for Davis. Joseph Lim with the interception. That one hit the other way, coast to coast.
That's one of those things that Angry Bird's going to give you. We talked about yesterday, he had a team-high 9 assists, but he's going to give you 1 or 2 of those bad turnovers in transition, that time leading to a jet layup.
Davon Reed finding room through the middle, now gets it out. Zizzian will try to Pom Pom. There's Pom Pom, well short. Quite an embarrassing ball that was.
Couldn't tell if that was short or wide or high or...
It had some side spin to it. I don't think that's how they designed the shot, but beautiful one is Zizzian dancing around Michael Singletary. So I went on the internet and looked it up. In Taiwan, we call it a mianbao, a bread, when you airball it because it comes from a Taiwanese, kind of a similar sandwichy, fun product. Meaning something that's empty in the center. There's Zhang Shin. He's good with the mid-range.
learn something new every day. Again, I don't know if that counts as our Chinese lesson or our Taiwanese lesson, but definitely be able to learn something before this Chinese New Year break.
Reed from the top, clanks it. Oh, no good. Singletary with a lot of contact, a lot of pilots in his area. Will force the pilots to call timeout with the made layup.
Yeah, we can see Singletary again just embracing that contact, able to finish in transition as these Braves take this possession by possession and lead by 7 points now.
We'll be back after the breaks. The Braves lead by 7.
Good screen. Set a good screen.
We're thinking about all our fans around there, around the world. Stay safe from the pandemic when you wear your mask and follow the protocol set by your local health officials. Checking out the box scores, the Braves have scoring from 5 players. Most of them, Michael Singletary. A lot of other guys not on the board yet. Maybe like over 3 from Joseph Lin. Sunshine 0 for 1. Where the pilots are spreading around a little bit. Davon Reed leading them in scoring with 10. But also on the board, Guan Dayou, Shi Jinyao, Zhang Gengyu, Chen Guanchun, and Kadeem Jack. Both teams want to get a number of passes going as Joseph Lin with the steal. Right up. Goaltending by Davon Reed, so 2 points for the Palo Alto native.
Yeah, we can see the pilots, after a couple turnovers from their point guards, going to their 3rd string point guard. Unfortunately, that just leads to another pickpocket by Joe Lin and another 2 points by these Braves in transition.
That's number 18, Lai Golwei. He's called the Lucky Star. His academic playing days in the maybe intramural circuit, we can equivalent that to. This team would always just win, and they called him Lucky Shooting Star. Shot clock violation by the Pilots.
Yeah, another great possession defensively by these Braves. Again, running that floppy set puts a lot of pressure on the point guard. As we see the Braves once again go back to their starting point guard, trying to find something that works there. Looking at a 9-point deficit.
Screen by Singletary. Now here comes Zaisev with a handoff. Joseph. 2 points on the board. Gives it up to Singletary. He's driving middle, trying to go with power. Off the mark with the layup. Guan Dayou to the hoop. He's flying high. Takes it. A little bit off there. Davon Reed right behind for the putback.
Once again, Davon Reed able to just sneak it in transition, get that offensive rebound, put back. Now an opportunity for another 3-point play.
I spoke to the referees pre-game, and I asked them, and one of them said the communication with the players and the coaches has been cordial and increasing during the season. Another said, nah, it's about the same. The dynamics, of course, with the official are part of the game.
In any of these games where not just the result, but also placing is a big result, everybody's going to get a little more intense, including these referees.
Jets got bumped after the way to the hoop. He misses the layup. Davon Reed with a handoff, finds through and rolls it in with a soft touch.
We can see these Pilots need to get out in transition. After another couple rough possessions by these Braves, Pilots able to get more opportunities on the break, leading to that Roger Shu timeout.
So quick with it. The last time the Braves took a loss was January 17th against the Lioneers, and they turned right around and beat the Lioneers by 20. And switching from Taipei to Hsinchu. On the Lioneers, just 67 points. Taking the loss yesterday afternoon against the Dreamers. At least right now, going pretty good. But like you said, the timeout, both teams trying to get active even after a back-to-back yesterday.
That's something we can see the more experienced teams able to do. You can see these Braves, not just from game to game, but even in-game, able to make adjustments with that coaching staff that's been together a while. The Formosa Dreamers doing the same thing. As we talked about earlier, they're getting better and better as the season goes. That's the advantage you have with continuity, not with just your players, but also with your coaching staff.
So in the afternoon game, the Dreamers defeated the Lioneers 96-85. That's their second win in a row, of course, both this weekend. Professor Tucker took yesterday off, scored 26 and 13 rebounds, 3 assists. His teammate Jaron Young, 23 points, 13 rebounds, and 3 assists.
They're finding out how to use all their imports. Yesterday using Jaron Young and Stephen Hicks. Today using Tucker and Jaron Young, the OGs of those Formosa Dreamers, able to get another win and sweep the weekend.
Now for the Lioneers, they had 5 players scoring double digits, but very inefficient shooting. Can't get above 35%.
Yeah, they're going to need to go into this break finding some answers to the problems that they've had in the first half of the season.
Controlling at point right now, Lai Ting-en. They call him Taiwan's little race car, Taiwan Xiaopao. Ooh, nothing but net because it was way short, missing the mid-range. Shaking and baking, Davon Reed gives it up to Zhang Yu. Still finds room down the corner, but he dribbles it out of bounds.
And that's something that after that big game he had yesterday, he's going to have to learn to adjust. The defense obviously paying a lot more attention to him, forcing him to put the ball on the floor. It's not his strong suit. He's just going to have to figure out how to have a contribution. Right now, he's going to have a contribution from the bench as the coaching staff takes him out.
We're checking in the game for the first time. That's number 23, Chen Xinhuan. So that's Ah Huan. They have an Ah Yao and Ah Huan.
That's with back-to-backs for all these teams. We've seen a lot of teams be more conservative in the first game, and then in the second game using a lot bigger rotation.
They left Lai Ting-en open, but he misses his first shot, a 3-point attempt. There, Chen Xinhuan giving it up to Sidney Yao. Davis from the top, he'll fire away and rattle it in.
Yeah, this big man three-point shooting contest, Q on the board. Nice shooting performance by all of our bigs in today's game.
He was 3 for 3 in the third quarter yesterday against the Lioneers. Nice fake by Lai Ting-en underneath, third down drink, lays it in. Kadeem Jack a little late.
Yeah, nice quick finish there by Jack. You said it. Kadeem Jack a little late on that finish. Jack able to get it up before he could get in position.
Davis looks at another one and 2 for 2.
That's the smarts that Quincy Davis plays with. Yeah, knowing he's going to have to play a lot of minutes, pulling out on the perimeter, shooting from 3, able to tie this game at 46.
The Pilots with their 2-3 zone. Foul committed on the floor.
You can see the Braves seeing that zone, putting a little more outside shooting in there. But once more, Q with that shooting prowess from outside the three-point line, something he's been working on for the last few years. Something that comes with a lot of these big men's age. They get older and older, they get that range farther and farther out. They have to extend their career.
The referees want to talk it over. Something going on this side of the floor.
They're trying to look and see if Quincy was on the line. Those big feet of his might have been a long 2 on that second 3 he just hit.
You wonder if logistically they could have handled it in the halftime. But anyways, it's my chance to ask Coach Ben. We mentioned the P.LEAGUE before. You took a quick look this afternoon. Any early thoughts?
Yeah, I was able to go online on Bohelai and find myself a copy of our P.LEAGUE. Again, beautiful, something that you can buy, put on your coffee table when you have guests over this Lunar New Year. And they can learn something about the league. They can look at some nice pictures of the guys and, again, just support this Plus League that we're doing here in Taiwan.
Well, they corrected the point total. calling Quincy Davis's shot a two-pointer. Toes right on the line.
Those big feet of Q's. Little too close.
A little bit of a reset. Now, Chen Xiangjun at the line. Short with it. He'll get another chance. The Pilots, 5 fouls. Braves in the bonus. Still short. Out of bounds off of Zaisev.
Yeah, these Braves struggling from the free throw line here in the first half, missing an opportunity to get the lead here.
The Pilots have only taken 2 free throws, 1 for 2. The Braves, 4 for 9. Foul on Chen Xiangjun down low.
And that's something we talked about, Q just being a smart player. That's one of these rookies that he's just going to have to pay his dues. Again, Q just sealing his arm. Chen Xiangjun getting the little hook. Something that he's going to learn with experience.
Seems like as a defense, you just can't bend that elbow or the offensive player will get you.
Yeah, and Q's one of the best in the league at doing that. You could see as soon as he knew that he was hooked, he got the ref's attention, and they were quick on the call.
Very pointed message, should we say. Brendan Smartcheck's in the game as Davis also retreats. Manimal taking his place. Under 2 minutes. Tied game. A lot of pressure. Brendan Smart and Li Yaozong rotating around. There's a foul committed on the shot. Not Smart. Lai Tian.
Yeah, you said a bad foul right there. Again, a couple seconds left on the shot clock. Bailing them out.
Li Yaozong, not known as a good range shooter, got bumped from behind.
That may have been the most polite thing you've said all season there, Ryan. I don't think anybody would guard Manimal unless he's under 2 feet near the hoop.
Bouncing in the free throw. There's Coach Roger on the sideline. Trying to manage 1 victory on the weekend. Good spin, but too strong. 1 for 2. Singletary working from the top, waiting for Brendan Smart to screen him. The two of them actually are in the lineup together a lot of the time. Smart gets the offensive rebound and turns it around for 2 points.
Again, we see Mike Singletary just finding bodies on the drive, not able to finish, but creating offensive rebound opportunities for his teammates. Great job by the rookie.
Defense would probably pay a lot of attention on Igor Zaisev, leaving opportunity for other players. Zaisev in the area, but Brendan Smart called for the foul. Previously, Brendan Smart came into a game and 2 offensive boards and 2 buckets. He was a center at the university level. That was at Jianxing Technical University. But trying to transition to more of a 3-4-ish forward position. Still an adjustment in progress.
Yeah, earlier we mentioned Jack having a good performance for the Braves this season. He's playing the same position he played in college, but as you mentioned, Smart having to try and figure out a completely different position in a new professional league, taking him a little bit longer, able to still contribute for his team victory.
But it's good to see that those skills still remain at the higher level. There's a runner by Zaisev. Smart again, close by for the rebound. Finally, Zaisev will come away with it. Foul on the reach? No. Foul on the hold, it seems.
Yeah, Ryan, like you said, there's a lot of skills that translate no matter what position you play. And Brandon Smart playing with a lot of energy, a lot of hustle. You see him getting his hands on a lot of balls. That's something that he can still contribute regardless of what position he's playing.
Because it was a loose ball foul, it would be free throws for the Pilots. Well, Roger didn't like that call. Pretty convinced it should have been an offensive foul.
But like you said, Ryan, the communications between the refs and the coaches is very friendly this season, right?
Implemented during the season is a post-game forum for the coaching staff to submit to the league about the officiating on the court. Part of the development of a brand new basketball league incorporated from the ABL where the Braves and the Dreamers played. Maybe one more timeout before the end of the half. This time the Pilots want to talk it over, set something up. 46 seconds left.
They're trying to go into this halftime with this 2-point lead. Obviously, after the last game they had last night with a very easy victory, this game being a much more back and forth bout. Every possession counts.
During the broadcast last night, I was kind of thinking for the Lioneers, with a 5 p.m. game getting blown out and they having to go down to Zhanghua, maybe about an hour-and-a-half bus ride, and then having to take on another opponent. But for the Pilots, maybe you blow out the other team, but it ended up being kind of a dragged-out game. How do the coaches and the players kind of get prepared for the next game tonight?
And that's the tough part about this season with a lot of back-to-backs. Like you said, the Lioneers with the tougher 5 p.m., 2 p.m. back-to-back, they're just going to have to figure out how to get some guys some rest, especially since they don't have a lot of guys who can put the ball in the basket for them. The Pilots, like you said, they were up by quite a bit last night, still going to that foul. It was a very interesting decision by the Pilots staff over there, but again, a win is a win. Hopefully they can figure something out to do it again today.
Right now, leading the game in scoring is Davon Reed, 6 of 11 shooting. For the Braves, Michael Singletary, 4 for 10, 13 points.
Yeah, I'd say over the first half of the season, it's probably been Davon Reed as the import MVP, Ryan. What do you think?
Good. It's kind of a hard sell, though. He did not win the January MVP. I was told by the league media relations person that Davon Reed was second in the January MVP voting to Anthony Tucker. Received the award yesterday before the game. But Davon Reed does lead the league in scoring and top 5 in a lot of categories. Singletary through the rim, blocked again. That time Kadeem Jack. Zaisev coming away with it, but getting tied up underneath.
Yeah, Mike Singletary just pleading with the refs to get one call today. He's finding contact on all these drives. The refs concluding that all this contact is legal contact.
Make sure the floor is drive. That is Kadeem Jack's 3rd block on the game, and he's challenging a lot of shots near the rim.
After a rough outing yesterday against Thabit, Kadeem Jack being very active on that weak side.
Stick with our broadcast. At halftime, we will have a player or coach interview brought to you by our colleagues Taipei, doing play-by-play on the Mandarin side, and Corey, that's Ha Xiaoyuan. Coach Ben, heading into the season, did you have any previous experience or interactions with the very funny and profound Ha Xiaoyuan?
I've actually coached against him when his playing days were there. Obviously, now that he's a colleague, I'm a lot more friendly with him as when he was an opponent.
Singletary way too strong with the shot. Pilots will just get it over the timeline. And off to Reed, waiting for Kadeem Jack's screen, then rejects it. Running down, trying to get one last shot off. Loose with the basketball. 1 second left from way deep on top of the basket. Not what they wanted.
Yeah, nice defensive possession there to end the first half for the Braves. Yeah, able to keep this at a 2-point deficit.
So Coach Roger Shujinza will be our halftime guest interviewed. Passing by the referees with a word.
Yeah, I'm sure that he'll have something to say about the turnovers that these Braves had in the first half.
Roger leads the biggest coaching staff in the Plus League. So he and them will get together, but after talking to you guys on the other side of the screen. The first question will be about, the trends of having slow starts Stick with us for more halftime analysis as we deal with a little bit of our technical difficulties. Thanks for watching the Plus League. We'll be back.
感谢医护人员的坚持。
感谢医护人员的坚持。
We appreciate all the doctors and nurses working through these times.
辛苦你们了，有你们真好，有你们真好，
有你们真好，
有你们真好，有你们真好。
感谢第一线的医护人员，你们的坚持，有你们真好。
谢谢你们站在最前线，谢谢你们站在前线，
谢谢你们站在前线，
谢谢你们站在前线。
Thank you for all the work you do to keep us safe.
让大家都能好好的生活。谢谢你们站在前线，让大家能好好生活。
感谢你们站在前线，让我们都能好好生活。
所有的医护人员辛苦了，你们要保重自己。
谢谢你们守护大家的健康，你们也要好好照顾自己。
辛苦了，请你们保重自己。
辛苦了，请你们也保重自己。
辛苦你们了，也请保重自己。
感谢你们，就是守护大家的健康，然后你们要照顾好自己的身体。
感谢你们守护大家的健康，你们也要。
在这边想要谢谢所有的医务人员，然后谢谢你们的付出，有你们辛苦的付出，我们才可以在这边继续的打球。谢谢你们。
I want to thank all the medical doctors and nurses for keeping us safe during this time. We appreciate you. Keep going.
加油！
加油！加油！加油！
加油！
医护人员加油！
加油！
大家坐起来。
新年快乐，身体健康. Happy New Year's, everyone. The Plus League will be taking the weekend off to celebrate the Lunar New Year coming up. Everyone enjoy your time with loved ones, and we'll be back the weekend of February 20th. Right now, we're in halftime, the last game before the break. The team stats for the two teams, the Braves and Pilots, in a tight one, this right here. For the shooting percentages, the Pilots have the edge with 47.5%. Braves only 40.8%. Also a slight advantage in the three-point shooting, but curiously enough, the rebounding department might be close, but the Braves getting a lot more of the offensive boards, leading to closing in the gap. Assists, very close, 13 to 12, Braves on top. Now the Pilots with 11 turnovers, they do average 19 a game. it's a big concern and a big emphasis for those coaching staff.
Yeah, with Braves, like you said, their shooting percentage is not ideal, but they have 11 offensive rebounds to the Pilots 4. That's the only reason they're able to stay in this game. Right now it's down by 2. Well, you mentioned it, Ryan. All these turnovers, we see the Pilots coaching staff just swapping their point guards out, just trying to find somebody to get their team into an offense and not turn the ball over.
Coach Ben mentioned maybe the league MVP so far, Davon Reed. He played 45 minutes last night, and tonight already with 22.5 minutes to his name and contributing on the floor. He's leading the game with 17 points and already with 8 rebounds. And Kadeem Jack, what stands out for me is the 3 blocks. He's looking pretty spry and healthy despite what we've been told, that dealing with a little bit of injuries here and there.
Davon Reed, once again, doing it from inside, doing it on the offensive glass, doing it from 3. Probably been the most consistent import this entire season. And once again, having a great first half. And like you said, Kadeem Jack just being very active on the defensive end, coming from the weak side, getting 3 of those blocks and helping.
On the other side, Michael Singletary, 13 points, but only 4 of 13 shooting. Mentioned he's trying to play a very physical style inside, but the referee is not rewarding him with too many free throw attempts, only 2 on the evening. Now, other statistical leaders, Joseph Lin, Ling Suwei with 5 assists, coming in as a sub, but changing the pace up. That's what the Braves need.
Yeah, he's done a great job finding his teammate Li Mengxue on those little baseline cuts, something that they're going to need more of in the second half.
More halftime analysis after this. Thanks for watching the Plus League on YouTube, Momo TV, and FTV. Get all the Plus League content to your heart's desire. You can find that all on the Facebook page, P.LEAGUE with the plus symbol, Instagram, P.LEAGUE.official, and Twitter at P_League_EN. Our colleagues Corey, Ha, and Taipei doing the Mandarin broadcast as we bring you the Taipei Fubon Braves scoring leaders for the game. We mentioned Michael Singletary with 13 points, Lewis with 8, Zhang Luxian 8 as well, Dior Zaisev with just 7, and Ray Li Mengxue with 6, of course, being the recipient of a lot of Joseph Lin's good passing. The player getting the featured highlight before we head to the second half is Michael Singletary. I have to correct myself, he was 4 for 5 from the free throw line, but still probably asking for more. Showing off the good skills, the 32-year-old, willing to get it inside, play very physically.
Yeah, Michael Singletary obviously being off yesterday, playing with a lot of energy today, and helping the Fubon Braves out mostly on the offensive board.
For the Taoyuan pilots, Davon Reed, a game-high 17 points, followed by Peng Peng Chen Guanchun's 8, Kadeem Jack with 7, Quincy Davis with 6, and Si Jingao with 5. So they are doing a better job maybe getting their player movement going. We want to also see more transitions happening, perhaps on the defensive end, getting stops and getting run-out opportunities.
Yeah, the pilots have done a decent job getting everybody involved. Obviously, their key is going to be Davon Reed. A typical performance for him tonight against the tough Braves defense. Again, all their locals having contributions. Kadeem Jack, after a rough night yesterday, once again stepping up and doing what he did in the first half of the season.
So according to the stats I have, the Braves have 8 fast break points to 0 by the pilots, kind of scoring in maybe their secondary breaks. More of that. And the last half of the Plus League first half season after the break. Thanks for watching. I'm Ryan Chen, along with Coach Ben Metcalf, your English commentary for the Plus League regular season game number 25 here in Taoyuan Arena, where the pilots have set up their team merch in some of the empty seats behind the scorer's table. There's Sean Chen, the general manager for the team, making the tough decision weeks and weeks ago to play behind closed doors, to keep all the citizens safe and all the league personnel, players, and coaches, and the related safe from COVID-19, as there was a cluster, hopefully kept under control. Now back to the basketball, the Pilots are the last team to have no victories against the Braves. The Braves described as the Evil Empire or the Galaxy Braves for how strong their lineup is, and of course how apt and expert their coaching is as well. Metcalf, you have a little bit of experience with those guys.
Yeah, obviously being a part of both coaching staffs at various points of my career, they're going into this Chinese New Year break just trying to go with some momentum. Obviously the Braves losing yesterday, they definitely do not want to go in there with 2 losses in a row. The Pilots, on the other hand, they do not want to go into this Chinese New Year break not having beaten these Braves at all. So important second half of this game today coming up. We'll see who can pull it out in the end.
So far in the game, 3 for 3 is Chen Guanchun. Saw him just a second ago. He's 2 for 2 from deep and 1 from 1. 2-point range, that's 8 total points. He started the game, but won't be starting the second half. Now, Sijing, Guan Dayo, Kadeem Jack, Davon Reed, and Quincy Davis were the pilots. Joseph Lin, Michael Singletary, Ray Lin, Zaitsev, and Jets on the machine for the Braves.
See both sides going with changes in their starting lineups for the second half.
Bouncing on top of the backboard. Guan Dayo, look what I found with a rebound. Now Sijing will get the second board. Davis to Guan Dayo, shot clock running down. He'll float it up, off-footed. Bouncing around, and the Braves come away with it. Zaitsev, the Jet, pumping, getting Davon Reed in the air, and the easy 2 points.
That's something the Pilots are susceptible to. You talk about they put so much pressure on you on the offensive glass. If you can get that defensive rebound, you're going to have numbers in transition, which is what the Braves do best.
Threw it to Davis early, but he got it out. Now,
nice
step through.
Zaitsev with a little slip there defensively. Falling down, Jack able to put it in right over his head.
Now, Coach, here's a good question for you. Who has the best interior footwork when it comes to Taiwan basketball?
I think in these past couple weeks, Derek Lee of the Dreamers had some great moves as a local big. Obviously, the one everybody remembers the most is him going up as Kadeem Jack with a nice alley-oop in transition from Davon Reed. Derek Lee's improved this year and been able to show it against some of these imports.
Now that is a definite candidate for top 5 of the week. The Plus League, you can check that out on the YouTube page, P.LEAGUE. Davis, could he get another slam? That's 2 in a row.
See these Pilots just pushing the pace against the Braves, getting some easy opportunities in transition and in early offense.
Joseph with the Iverson screen now. A lot of attention on him, giving up to Singletary, pushing his way to the basket. Can't make the shot.
Singletary continues to have trouble finishing at the rim. Not able to get the offensive rebound on that.
It's funny, he's matched up against Davon Reed. Talk about maybe in American football, power versus finesse. I mean, it applies to basketball too.
Very different styles for the 2 different imports. Obviously both helping their teams win games, which is all that really matters in the end.
Singletary now laying it in with the right hand, that time showing off the finesse.
Trying to go with the power, but Davon Reed stepping out of the way, letting him show that finesse.
Reed, dangerous pass, but Guan Dayo hangs onto it. Nice crossover, doesn't take the shot, will throw it. Wildly, Davis will collect from 3-point range. Off the mark. Zaitsev, no one got him. Will get that one poked away, but it's a foul. That's Sijing back on defense.
We mentioned it. If you're able to get those defensive rebounds against this Braves team, you're going to have fast break opportunities. They send so many guys to the line or to the offensive glass, especially if you get shots from the corner. You're going to have these run-out opportunities like Zaitsev just had.
Return the favor. Return the favor.
First team foul for the Pilots. Sijing look that up. With his 3rd personal, Zaitsev makes the first. And the second, 2 for 2. Two guys nearby on Davon Reed. Getting the hand up, working with Jet. Shot long. Zaitsev will fling it. The spin rolls the wrong way. Looks like off of a Pilot, says the referees.
We can see both sides getting a little bit chippy, more and more physical. We talked about it earlier. This is going to be a game that both sides want to win really badly going into our Chinese New Year break.
Showing a little pressure, but now backing off. Now out of bounds, off of a Pilot.
See the Pilots coaching staff telling Guan Dayo to get up and pressure the ball. Again, he's not in there not for his offensive ability. He's just in to put pressure on Joe Lid.
still trailing him. They'll go to Zaisev, the top of the key. Jet with a nice charging handoff. Missed the layup. Now Kadeem Jack will come away with it.
Once again, we see Kadeem Jack stepping in, helping out his teammates from the weak side, able to alter Jet's shot. Great job defensively.
Guandayo loading it to Pom Pom. Not much of an arrow threat, so Jack will try, slow steps, and banks it in from the right side.
And that's just a scouting mistake area there. Again, knowing that Kadeem Jack just wants to go to that right-hand drive, Raylin can't let him get there.
Off the deflection, Kadeem Jack credited with a steal. Switching out under the hoop, gives it up to Guandayo, left corner. Pom Pom perfect for the game so far, and we'll put that on the producers for jinxing Guandayo's perfect shooting night.
Definitely not on you though, right?
Oh, of course not. Gotta let the fans know what our excellent producers and the TV crew put up on the screen. There's 2 points for the Braves.
Nice touch there by Jet. Last time not being able to put it into the rim. This time doing that quick step and getting it up over the outstretched hands of Kadeem Jack.
They scored the first basket of the third quarter to tie it up. Now down by 2 again. Now Kadeem Jack tries to the outside, short, and to the left.
Raylin, much better job that time, not letting Kadeem Jack get to his right hand, forcing that mid-range jumper.
Joe to Jet from the right side. There's Michael Singletary with the offensive rebound. Getting out to a teammate. Zaisev, a little bit of room on the block. Left-handed runner. There's Kadeem Jack again with the rebound. Dave Henry from the right side. And pure.
Once again, Kadeem Jack getting the nice opportunity from the defensive rebound, leading the break, finding his teammate in transition for the three-point.
20 points for Dave Henry. Kadeem Jack quickly getting his rebound numbers up to 6. There's 7. How cooperative of him. Pilots will slow it up. Jack attacking Ray. Almost traveled. Now give it to Guandayo. They'll try again. They don't want to take the shot until Reed gets to the basket, hooks in the foul, and almost spins it in. Zaisev with a bump.
Yeah, ugly, ugly possession there for the Pilots, but Zaisev bailing them out at the end with the foul, sending them to the line.
That'll be a TV timeout, allowing the teams to catch their breath. A lot of guys, hands are on their knees. They got 18 plus minutes of Plus League basketball left before we head to the break. Like this broadcast and help the Plus League expand our viewership. With a tap of a finger, thumbs up and the likes, the algorithms will work in our favor, help the Plus League grow. So thank you for that. Watching Kadeem Jack work with the smarts and the power.
Yeah,
great combination.
He's had a big start to this third quarter, doing it not just on the offensive end, being able to get there on drives and putbacks and alley-oops in transition, but also defensively, just being there to help out, both in the help defense and also on the defensive glass. Right now, getting a little breather 6 minutes into the first quarter.
When you play the Taipei Fubon Braves, it's always important, the mid-game and the late game, to maintain that edge. In the game for the first time, number 14, Taoyuan, that's Winston. At the top of the free throw block.
You've seen Coach Roger for these Braves just trying to limit his veterans' time. We talked about earlier, Beast being out for these back-to-back games, and Winston currently being out for the first half of these back-to-back games.
Free throw goes down, making it a 7-point lead for the Pilots. Joseph Lin swinging it around. There's Winston. Always attacking the middle, always getting possessions down there, coaxing the foul. They'll shoot free throws.
Able to get into the middle of that defense on that pin down on the weak side. Able to get to the line for 2 free throws here. Immediate contribution off the bench for the Wiley vet.
Standing at the free throw line, giving a lot of instructions, especially to Chen Xiangjun. I think coaching is in the cards for Winston.
I think more practice and free throws should be in the cards for Winston after that first miss.
Second one, not quite a redemption.
Definitely more free throw practice in the cards for Winston.
That makes the Braves sit at 6 for 13 from the free throw line. Maybe the whole team's got to go take extra shots. Now driving baseline, Joseph trying to get it to Jet, but Davon Reed was lurking in the corner, pokes it out of bounds.
Great job by Davon Reed to just protect the perimeter. Joe Lin trying that Steve Nash move. Cut off by Davon Reed.
Zaitsev, a lot of attention, goes baseline, beating the shot clock. Davon Reed with a rebound. Flinging it wildly out of bounds. Looks like a little bit of slippage on Guan Dayo.
A little wide left on that pass in transition.
Got that left banana action. Over the top. Joseph called for the travel in the air. Guan Dayo, now he gets a little redemption. Good defensive possession.
Like you said, the coaching staff puts Guan Dayo in the game just to pressure Joe Lin. That's all he needs to focus on. Doing a great job these last couple of possessions, not letting Joe get comfortable. You can see Roger getting him out of the game, seeing if he can mix things up a little.
Number 9, Zhou Guiyu comes into the game. No, Guo Shaojie. Now, is that a credit to good scouting report or good instincts on that jump? Davon Reed inside for 2.
It's both of them. And you start to know, especially in this plus league where you play teams over and over again, you start to get guys' tendencies. And you get to use your own skills. Lots of opportunities to do different things here in the plus league.
Still fighting for the rebound. Winston finally comes away with it. Now there's Guo Shaojie, missing his first shot. One of a number of forwards on the Braves roster. And the bottom of the 2-3 zone on the wing. Guan Dayo finding some room now underneath the Pompong. Pretty.
Yeah, great job there by Pompong to sneak in behind the back line of that 2-3 zone. Again, the defense got no. Guan Dayo's not looking to shoot when he gets into the middle of that zone. He's just looking to find people.
Taiwan Chen, Zhang on him. Slight size advantage, but getting to Zaitsev off the mark with his 3-point attempt.
That's something we don't really see these Braves doing a lot of, posting up their threes and having their big pop out for 3.
Reed through the middle of the zone, have that taken away. Good pace, getting it to Lewis in the corner. His shot off the mark.
Braves getting some good looks from 3 here, just not able to hit.
Nice pass cross from Guan Dayo to Zhang Guiyu. He'll lay it in with the right hand, bringing the lead to 13 points.
Yeah, just like that, these Braves have gone cold from the field. These Pilots have gotten out in transition, leading to that 13-point lead.
We want to let you know more about the Plus League. The team with the best free throw percentage, for example, is the Dreamers at 72. The Braves with a little bit of shooting woes, but shoot 70% from the line. Not so much tonight. On the screen is the Pilots, like Sean says, Play with pace, play with energy.
Yeah, that's for those fans watching overseas. That's kind of the Taiwanese solution to everything. They'll start to play faster and faster and faster. So a lot of these imports coming over in the Plus League have a little bit of a time adjusting to how they play over here. Might be a little bit up and down, might be a little bit out of control, but good basketball here in the first season of the Plus League.
Now, what portions would you say, Coach, would you want your team to play faster in any generic situation, or compared to when you want them to slow it down?
And that's really something that these veteran point guards know how to do. It's not really something that you can tell them before the game. You just got to kind of have a feel for the pace, and when things are going well, not do anything stupid. When things aren't going well, get your team organized and get some good shots. Unfortunately, there's no real answer, regardless of what level you're playing at. If you're playing with your junior level team or you're playing at the NBA, those natural point guards are so tough to find.
They flash the graphic on your screen. 8 for 16 on our Pilots in the third quarter. 3 for 15 are the Braves.
Yeah, they had a rough shooting percentage in the first half and not getting any better here in the second half.
Singletary with space down the middle. Will put him right in Davis's face. Zaitsev had his hands on the ball, but poked away and won by Singletary's.
You can see from Q's expressing it, obviously not agreeing with that call, but once again, Singletary not able to finish on the initial shot, but able to get the offensive rebound and put it back for a three-point opportunity.
Pleading with the referees is Davis. He has 4 fouls on the night.
Yeah, may have to have Q come over here and watch the replay, because definitely a foul there.
Sometimes the more the ball is on the inside when there's a scramble for the rebound, the advantage goes to the offense because the defense has got to react.
We talked earlier about the rookie for the Braves is trying to use his hustle to have a performance. And that's something that Singletary does. Regardless if he shoots well from the field, he's always going to hustle and get those loose balls, making an impact on the game.
Pick and roll, Reed to Jack doesn't go anywhere, so they'll try pick and roll, rattling it in.
We just mentioned it. Guandayo's not going to want to shoot from the mid-range. He's going to pull up for three anytime he can. And bad job by the defensive Louis Chen, allowing him to get three.
Nice poke away. That's Guandayo. Sangayu will give it right back. He will. That time Singletary coming through with the defense.
Yeah, Singletary after the bad pass on the offensive end, able to get the ball back to his team. Again, he saw the mismatch, but passed it low instead of high.
This time, Toes right behind the line. Very close. 3 points. Lifted, interesting enough, with Kadeem Jack guarding him. Lewis drives baseline, finding some room with a side advantage of a block from behind by Reed.
That's something that Davon's done this whole season. First time in this game, but able to get the block from behind, help defense.
He'll counter and get the foul on Taiwan's Hun.
That's why he's my first half MVP of this league. Great job defensively, and then with the veteran move, with the rip through, able to get the foul on the veteran Winston.
Couple rough plays for Lewis. He'll take a seat on the bench, and so will Guo Shaojie. Jet and Joseph will take their place.
We seem to be saying that a lot for these Braves. A lot of rough performances for everybody in the third quarter. Which is probably why they're down by 13.
Kadeem Jack. Had a couple Braves get in his way, but Pilots coming away with 2 points.
Able to score there, luckily, but we see the Braves once again off a Singletary miss, able to get the offensive rebound.
Foul before the drive got anywhere. More free throws.
You can see right here, this is something that the Pilots are going to have to figure out. Kadeem Jack on that roll seems to always have Zaitsev right in his scope. And that time able to poke it in, but not a lot of room on that roll for any of the Pilots' bigs.
Though bringing in out of bounds are the Braves. Staying a pin down for Jack. Zaitsev on the other side with the rebound. Blocked by Kadeem Jack. Out of bounds.
Once again, Kadeem Jack helping out. Pong doing a good job just walling up. Kadeem Jack getting that second side block.
Hand out to Joseph. Running low on time. Ball getting away. Singletary from the top, way downtown, all the way from Geelong.
Yeah, that's something that those Braves needed. Obviously, they don't want to get down anymore going into this fourth quarter where the Pilots can have essentially 2 imports on the court.
Sitting out drives and dishes, catching the Braves, needing the foul.
Something that the Braves have had a little bit of trouble with in the second half. Their pick and roll defense. Again, letting guys get right to the cup. Their sides have helping a little bit too much. Pong able to duck in. Off the line for 2 free throws.
His first is in.
It's so quiet on these free throws and behind these closed doors, Ryan. It's a lot of pressure on Pong to make these free throws.
Well, you know, trying to maintain the environment.
Obviously not feeling any effects of this quiet, hitting the knockdown 2 free throws.
3 team fouls for the Braves, 4 for the Pilots. A little bit more than a minute left in the third quarter. Throwing it up for Zaisev, but Jack. I don't think he finished it with a French accent. This shot and Singletary all the way to the hoop. That's a touchdown.
Once again, Kadeem Jack just doing a great job on the weak side, just mucking everything up. Blocks, tips, everything there for Kadeem Jack.
Terminating the dribble, Reed needs to find a teammate. They go down low to Jack, and good hands. The Braves come away with it. Joseph leaving it behind for Jet. Missing the floater, and they have to foul Zaisev.
We've seen the Braves able to stay in this game with that transition group. Not really doing a great job in the half court, but on these last couple possessions, not able to hit the initial shot, but on the offensive rebound, being able to get to the line.
Was that Zaisev trying to compliment the referees?
Hey, these guys will do anything to get a call, Ryan. Don't put anything below them.
His first free throw. Front to back and out. You're Zaisev. Updates the stat line. Makes 2 free throws. No, just the 1. Handling a lot over here, excuse me. He has 10 points on the night. Will head to the bench. A chance to sub in some of their players. Zheng Xianjun guarding Pong. Xu Jingyao waiting for Davon Reed to come open. Winston guarding. Switching to Singletary. Now Xu Jingyao will reject the shot. Reed from the top and in. Nice execution, good patience by the Pilots. Time running out, Joseph will try. Jet was high, but couldn't push it in.
Yeah, really bad possession there by the Braves to end this third quarter. Letting Ayal get wide open and rotating. In the end, just letting Davon Reed get a wide open look. Tough way to end the third for these Braves.
Last quarter coming up. Good one for the Pilots. We'll see how the Braves respond. down by 14 points. The Taipei Fubon Braves are looking at possibly going 0-2 on the weekend. Still in their huddle, Coach Roger talking things over. Davon Reed, 27 points already. He leads the field. Second is Michael Singletary with 23.
Yeah, we've seen the Pilots imports, both he and Kadeem Jack having great performances in this last game of the first half of the season. Again, up 14, 12 minutes to play. Good fourth quarter coming up.
Kadeem Jack and Michael Singletary are the two imports for the game. Jet will look at a shot from the top, rims in and out. Just missing. Singletary flying backwards for the putback. Grimacing as he got up.
Yeah, tough ball right there by Singletary. Once again, these Pilots able to just pound it back in transition, extending into this lead.
Ayo with a fancy move. Getting their score up to 81. Jet poking the foul out of Guandayo.
We've seen Guandayo not having a great performance offensively, but defensively just doing a good job pressuring the ball. As we see the Pilots once again turning defense into offense.
Handing off to Singletary. Back and forth, the dribble goes. Singletary with a tough shot through the middle, and it will roll around.
Yeah, finally Singletary able to get one to fall for him. Keeping this game close.
Slow to get back. He got a knock in the face. Joseph comes away with it. Challenge at the rim. Doesn't go down, but it'll be fouled by Guandayo, the last man back.
These Pilots put a lot of pressure on their own point guards just to bring the ball up by themselves and set the offense. Here we see Guandayo just trying to go up straight. The refs thinking that he had a little bit too much contact. Sending Joe Lin to the line.
Very talked about conversation is the forward momentum when it comes to basketball players, as we see the contact on Chen Xiangjun. He's still in the game. He's looking to be a little bit slowed down, but he'll be all right. Anyway, so for example, Chen Wenting, when he quite frankly just smacked Oscar Galwahal in the face, that he was trying to get him, the young player, out of the way for his momentum. And it's been clarified by the league officials that just like the laws of the road, everyone is entitled to their own pathway. So the referees were indicating to Guandayo that wasn't the case. Davis through the middle, short. Kadeem Jack out of bounds.
But Chen Wenting, it's not his first rodeo. He seems to be involved with some kind of altercation every time he gets in the game. Nice to see the league come and step in and protect some of our players.
So now, in fact, there are actually two tracks to a suspension. One you could, well, maybe say three. If the foul is egregious, as there's a foul for position, Zijiao and Chen Xiangjun ended up all the way underneath the basket. That's a funny moment there. Well, anyways, the foul itself could be so egregious that it'll be a suspension, or the players or the coach, head coach, can accumulate their special fouls, or if the point totals of the fouls will also necessitate a suspension as well. So the league went from a 5,000 NT fine, which has been said to be very low, to having a lot of tracks and the fines piling up really heftily.
Yeah, but that, frankly, is something that Taiwanese basketball needs. Again, we have a lot of players who, I guess you could call them dirty, or they have some questionable moments on the court. The league obviously taking that into account and protecting the product that we have here on the court.
Jet spinning with a tough shot will be short, and Kadeem Jack, finally a clean defensive rebound for the Pilots.
Yeah, everything seems to be really tough here for the Braves in the second half. As we see Quincy get behind him, able to finish through contact.
He made the basket, and there's a foul underneath. Let's see how the refs sorted out what they saw.
You see Q finishing through contact. Again, we talk about straight up and down his defender was definitely not straight up and down, which you can see him trying to communicate with the refs.
So on one hand, Davis, being an interior player and getting a lot of inside touches, will get potentially hacked and hit as he takes his shots, but also a player who have a lot of extracurriculars himself. So the foul was Kadeem Jack.
We talked about it earlier in the game. It started to get chippy there in the first quarter. Now obviously with the Braves trying to get down close to 20 points, they're trying to fight their way back in the game, almost literally.
Jet getting trapped underneath, so he'll get it out. Joseph will fling it outside. Jet again going to the basket. Just missing, but it'll be another foul on the Pilots. The Braves will be in the bonus for the rest of 9 minutes and 37 seconds.
That seems to be the story of the game for these Braves, just not being able to finish at the rim. Obviously, mostly it's been like Singletary, but we've seen Jet get to the rim a couple times and not being able to finish over the long outstretched arms of regardless Q or Kadeem Jet.
5 fouls for Q. Zhang Longxian at the line. His point total reaching 13.
Braves continuing to shoot themselves in the foot. Currently 9 of 19 from the free throw line. Tough to come back if you're going to shoot that percentage.
Pilots very patient with it. Now running low on the shot clock. Pom from the left wing. A brick.
Pom obviously spending a little too much time in the weight room, as that one was about 3 feet too long.
Now, would it be an additional brick, or would the brick just be bigger the further off target it is?
I'm just worried about the player on the weak side for safety. That one was a big old brick.
Jet controlling again. The Braves trying to fight their way back into this game. Right now down by 15. Joseph with the right-hand floater. Rims in and out. Jet can't get the putback. Joseph comes away with it to Singletary. He'll dribble sidestep and rattle it in.
More second chance points for the Braves. Really the only reason that they have a chance in this game. Jack, another missed layup. Tough to come back if you're going to keep missing those bunnies.
22 offensive rebounds for the Braves. They only have 26 defensive rebounds. Cleared the lane for him was Popo, and that's 2 points for the Pilots.
Yeah, you said it, Ryan. These Pilots big, starting with Q, do a great job settling on those teammates' drives. Popo really should get a screen assist there.
On the other side, assist to Joseph Lin to Jack in the middle. To Xiangqun. Under 10 seconds, shot clock. Reed slithering his way. A little bit of a slippage. Mid-range and miss everything long. Jet with momentum. This is his best. Get fouled. Is it Pong, number 30?
Jet at its best when he can get that defense retreating. Not shooting well from the perimeter today, but this is what he does best. Again, Pong in the restricted area can only foul.
For him personally, Zhang Longxian 1 for 2 from the free throw line. Make that 2 for 3. Helping his team out. Try to get to 50%. Not what you want.
Jet being very aggressive here in this fourth quarter. Driving hard at the basket. Able to get to the line, unfortunately. Only able to hit half of it.
Ahuan with the rebound. Charging up the right side, not receiving. Badayo with Joseph on him. There's Pong. Setting the screen. Reed through the middle. Running out of time. And Manuel will step out of bounds. Bad offensive possession by the Pilots. Waited too long and in the end just got caught looking at each other.
Yeah, not a lot of space in the paint right there with Manuel and Pong in the game. Pong deciding to roll instead of showing off his prowess from behind the three-point line. Leads to a 3-second line.
The Braves always seem to start with Jet. He just loses the basketball, slipped out of bounds.
Once again, adding to the Braves' turnover tally for the game.
Interesting how they're having Jet initiate the offense. Michael Singletary also on the floor. Maybe saving him for the later stages of the quarter. Another slippage. Davon Reed barely hangs on, and it'll be a jump ball.
Yeah, I think part of it is Jet obviously struggling from the perimeter, while Jolin and Mike Singletary have had good performances from the three-point line today. Again, let Jet create and let the other guys shoot.
A little bit of a ankle tweak. Davon Reed going to the floor. Hands on his knees. Feeling the effects of 2 back-to-back games. With a lot of responsibility and a lot of play time. Now a few Braves in the area will cause a Pilots turnover.
Third time we've seen Mike Singletary get out in those passing lanes. Just trying to get some extra possessions. The Braves struggling from the field.
Timeout called by the Pilots. They need to get regrouped and reorganized. Down by 3 points in the fourth quarter. Hanging on to this one, trying to get their first victory on the Taipei Fubon Braves. We'll be back after this. Hello everybody, I'm Ryan Chen along with Coach Ben Metcalf on the English broadcast of this Plus League basketball game where Taipei Fubon Braves might really say that we're a little bit in shock that 2 games in a row not playing up to their own standards. One of the more well-led teams in terms of playing personnel and coaching staff. Very competitive in the early stage of the Plus League season, but right now, struggling against the Pilots after losing to the Dreamers yesterday. Loose with the basketball, and the Pilots come away with it. Davis in the middle of the break. Aqua into the hoop, and that's just the layup drill.
Well, we've seen that a lot by these Pilots today, to pump on with great active hands defensively, and then able to seal the defense on the fast break. A lot of offense to defense.
Just like that, Coach Roger calls a timeout. Something went wrong on the offensive end. Singletary a little bit careless with the basketball. And they got to go to another timeout, talk it over.
Yeah, but these Braves just being sloppy with the ball. We saw it from the first quarter with Big Z. Here in the fourth quarter, same thing. Keep trying to cut it under 10, but these turnovers just lead to more Pilots opportunities. Tough to fight back when you keep taking the hole yourself.
Looking at the statistics, which you can find at our league site, P.LEAGUEofficial.com. 19 turnovers for the Pilots, 13 for the Braves, but those 9 points off turnovers seem to come at the worst times for the Braves.
Yeah, every time these Braves start to get a little bit of momentum, they seem to miss a layup or miss a wide open 3 or turn the ball over, leading to the Pilots getting that momentum back themselves. We saw right there, Pilots called a timeout, went into a possession. After the timeout, it ends up being the Braves calling a timeout right away. So it's something that we talked about the first half of the season, is just trying to figure out what your team is. Now these teams going in the second half can start to fix some of these mistakes.
Now be truthful, Coach. Have you ever called a timeout after just one play?
I think I've called a timeout before one play. Sometimes you just know, Ryan. Sometimes you just know.
Braves, after 2 timeouts, but a turnover in between. looking for Joseph. He almost steps out of bounds. Really close. Sunshine Drink in the middle. He'll take the free throw jump shot. Get it in.
That's something that these Braves fours are going to have to start to do. We saw Ray Lynn be a little hesitant to shoot from the mid-range. Jack there is still a little hesitant. That shot's going to be there all game. He's got to start to be able to make it.
Quincy Davis with Zaitsev guarding him tightly will get it down. Be a 3-second violation. Pom Pom hanging out in the restricted area too long.
Yeah, Pom Pom, as soon as he's going one-on-one against Jack, he's just been ducking in, ducking in, ducking in. Again, just trying to get that advantage in the paint. A little bit too eager to duck in there, though. Getting called for the 3-second violation.
Before we head to the end of the game and the action gets heated up, Coach, who do you got for the Super Bowl?
Myself, it's tough because I'm a Tom Brady fan, but love the way that the Chiefs play. Regardless, it should be an exciting game, even though I have to wake up at 6:30 in the morning to watch it here in Taiwan.
Oh, that's not too bad. Think about all the fans, maybe stateside, who wake up at 3 in the morning to watch CPBL games last March, or actually last April.
I think you mean all of our friends here in the States. They're watching the game at 3 or 4 in the morning, right? I'm sure we got a lot of them overseas.
Foul on the rebound, and that'll be free throws for the Braves.
Curious, Ryan, if you guys want to leave messages there on our message board. Curious to see where all our fans are from. Obviously, we're a very international league here with imports from Europe and the U.S. I'm sure we got fans from all over the world.
I'd also be really curious to hear from maybe ABL fans watching the likes of Michael Singletary, who's been with a couple ABL teams, or Anthony Tucker, Professor Tucker, playing well in this afternoon's game, helping his team to a victory.
There's a lot of things to watch here in the first season of the Plus. Not a lot of made free throws to watch.
Well, they have all of the break to work on that. Right now, you got to get focused in on the game. The Braves are chipping away at the league ever so slowly. Pilots fortunate to keep the possession.
The Braves, we can see they're trying to step it up defensively. Down 11 with a little over 5 minutes to go. Definitely a lot impossible, but they don't have a lot of room for error here. So they're trying to figure it out.
Out of the baseline, a stack, Angry Bird. Joseph Lin, active hands poking out of bounds.
You can see that added pressure defensively on the ball there. There should be a lot of driving lanes open for those Pilots if they want them.
They'll go to Kadeem Jack. He'll shoot the fadeaway and rattle it in.
When Kadeem Jack starts hitting those shots, it may just be one of those days for this Braves team.
Joseph. Sunshine Dream back. Joseph jet cutting through the middle. Borsalje from the outside. He'll drive and fly to the rim. Underneath the Zaitsev. Called for the foul. I need to see that one again.
You can see Zaitsev taking a book out of the Pilots' bigs playbook. Seal in there on the weak side. Able to get that little dump pass and back to the line where the Braves have not had the nicest day today.
Trying out a new camera angle. These are friends and colleagues with FTV. Zaitsev, a little bit more reliable with the free throw shooting. Makes the first. Kind of curious, Coach. The Plus League actually features a lot of times maybe 2 centers or 2 bigs, shall we say, whereas trends in basketball have been saying only 1 big and sometimes not even any centers in the game.
That really tests the coaching staffs, how they're going to adapt to the game. Again, it's nice when you have somebody like Kadeem Jack, who we saw there, be a little bit more creative in offense. Once there, take one dribble from the elbow and finish like that. That's going to let your coaching staff have more options.
Zaitsev just loses it out of bounds, kind of getting pretty aggressive going to the hoop himself.
And when you have someone like Big Z today, he seems to turn the ball over every possession. It doesn't matter if you have 1 big or 2 big or 3 bigs on the floor. Not going to be a lot of good things there for you.
Zhang tries to go baseline, nothing there. So Davis faces up against Zaisev, tries to reposition, but no opening there. Chen Qinghwan from the left corner, a little long, and Jack comes away with the rebound. Jet taking on two pilots. Lost his footing a little bit. Hopefully he's okay. Called for the foul. Taking off from, like Coach said, from the free throw line, 2 steps and in.
Good job by Bandayo finding his teammates. We see Jet once again in transition, able to get back to the line, but maybe a little bit too late here for this Fubon Braves team.
Less than 4 minutes to go. Jack has 21 points on the evening. That's 10 for 13 from 2-point range.
His biggest effect in this game has been from the defensive end. It seems like every time these Braves get to the rim, he's there affecting their shot or blocking their shot, and getting a dominant performance on the boards for him as well.
Bandayo dribbling. Joseph guarding him tightly. The cue to Ahwan from the right corner this time. That's no good. There's Jet. They want to play with pace. He throws it to Coach Roger. I think his playing days long past him.
I think took everything in Coach Roger to not just punt that ball into the second round. Again, frustrating job from him. Seen his team just throw the ball all over the place, miss layups. Not a great performance so far with 3 minutes left in this game.
Bandayo to Jack. He'll drive the left side this time. Jet with a steal, and he stays in bounds. Going to the hoop. This time, Chen Qinghwan plays him well, no foul. And I think Guo Shaojie pushes it out of bounds.
Braves bench just pleading for a foul. Jet kept that ball low, giving Bandayo a chance to get to it. All ball right there. On the second one, some ball, some body, but no foul.
A lot of looks of desperation on the Braves bench. Pilots playing a little bit more energy. Davis takes another three off the front of the iron. Jack had his hand on the ball. Zaisev commits the foul on the rebound.
Once again, just being active. Just being active. Great job there by Kadeem Jack.
They'll inbound it from the baseline. Looks like the Pilots content with the line that they have on the floor. Braves, no movement on their bench. No signs of any change. Zhang sky high for the shot. Ahwan with the volleyball smack. Get that one back to his teammates. Bandayo with a tough layup and in.
Again, he just threw that one up behind his head, just praying something good would happen. And well, the basketball gods took care of him on that possession.
There's Zaisev. Not super fast, but whenever he's got a chance to run the floor, good things happen for the Braves.
He's been able to get to the line in this fourth quarter. Just unfortunately not being able to make enough, as we see Bandayo just throwing it up, and enough touch there to have it bounce off the back of the rim.
Down by 13 points, make it 12. A lot of things need to go right for the Braves.
Over the first half of the season, the Braves have been probably the highest scoring team in the entire league, but we see here today, we'll probably be stuck in the low 80s. Good defensive performance here from Pilots.
Zhang on Jet. That's not the point guard matchup or guard matchup you want. There's one over to the hoop again. Zaisev didn't even come over with the block.
And that's kind of been the story of Zaisev's game today. He's kind of been out of it. And Singletary had a much better game, but something that they're going to need more of him in the second half of the season.
What's up, Jet, to Jet, who had his shot erased by Davis in the middle. Good recovery by the Pilots, especially from their center. There's Guan Nayo playing with abandon.
Not even needing to get up very high on that block. Jet just kind of setting it up for him. 7 seconds left on the shot clock.
Lighting it is in the game as Zaida tries the range shot. Fortunate to get the rebound. Now drives middle, loses the basketball. Davis picks it up.
One more turnover to Big Z's tally. Again, really rough game there for the Ukrainian bigs.
4 turnovers, 5 personal fouls for Zaitsev. Thundering from the left corner and in. The Pilots, no, the Braves call for a substitution. Zhang Dongxiu to the bench, replaced by Zhou Guiyu. Getting a replay of that one, a crucial 3. Another dagger.
That's what he does best, catch and shoot. Again, doesn't need to think, doesn't need to put the ball on the floor. Another good performance by Zhang Dongxiu.
Off iron was Guo Shaojie, a 3-point attempt. The Braves are with 1 minute left to make up 15 points if they can.
Yeah, looks like they've thrown in the towel here, getting some of their subs in the game. The Pilots doing the same. He had a good game to round out this first half of the Plus League season. It's going to be a very interesting second half. Teams bunched up at the front and the back of the standings.
Number 23, Brendan Smart, checks in for the Braves, and for the first time in the game, number 25, Ling Zhen, comes in for the Pilots. He's guarding Zheng Xiangjun as the ball rolls out of bounds off of Lai Tingyun. That'll happen with the little guard sometimes. Get a little bit too wild.
Yeah, we can see Coach Roger there just hoping this game can get over quickly, get to this break and start to fix some of these mistakes over this Chinese New Year break.
Lianto in the middle of the floor, gets it over the half court, looking for a teammate. That's Guan Dayo. A lot of attention on defense. Lai Tingyun almost caused a turnover and a little bit of dodgeball. Point for Guan Dayo.
A little bit of a dribbling exhibition there from Guan Dayo. Able to save it off Lai Tingyun's leg.
5 seconds left on the shot clock, 23 seconds left in the game. With Guan Dayo forcing up a wild shot. I guess you can afford that. And Brendan Smart throws it right back to the Pilots. They're gonna hang on. It looks like that'll be the end of the game. Great performance by the Pilots, giving the Braves 2 losses in a row on the weekend, 1 to each of the teams in the Plus League. Of course, the Braves are still easily the favorites of the league, but still good to see the other teams show good fight.
Yeah, and this is something that we like to see going into this break. Again, the Braves have been dominant over the first half, but they've had their weaknesses, and they've showed them in these 2 consecutive losses here to finish out the first half of the season.
In the end, the Pilots were led by Davon Reed's 27 points. Kadeem Jack and Reed each had 12 rebounds. For the Taipei Fubon Braves, Michael Singletary had 28 points, leading scorer for them. Stick around. We've been told that Guan Dayo, number 6 for the Pilots, will be the player to be interviewed in a moment. Just setting things up. So Coach Ben, I think we said it before, the Braves are just trying to do it with effort on the offensive boards and try to figure out more possessions for themselves, but in the end, it wasn't enough.
Yeah, I think the biggest difference we've seen in these consecutive losses is something we'll talk about after this interview from Guan Dayo.
Our colleague Taipei starting off with a question about the matchup with the Taipei Fubon Braves.
对我们就是团队的，就是教练设定的方向是很正确的，因为毕竟我们前3场比赛就是因为都是从第3节开始落后， 然后就是教练在中场的时候，其实给我们提醒很大，因为就是每次都是第3节落后，那我们想办法就是第3节让团队更专心，然后把胜利留在主场。
There from first tip to the last buzzer. Now asked about his personal stats, 13 points, 4 rebounds, and 6 assists. They're on your screen. Asked about his young career and how he will take on the challenge of playing in the Pro League for the first time.
不管是就算昨天赢球，还是就是上礼拜都输球，3连败的状况，那教练跟学长他们就是给我的信心真的是蛮大，因为不管怎么样，他们就说他们会去针对他们主攻手做防守，那可能就是我们这些新秀要赶快做一些进攻的调整，对。
For the young guys to make adjustments and get involved with the play on the court and get their careers going. Thanks for Guanayo for joining us on the postgame after a break with Plus League postgame analysis. I'm Ryan Chen with Coach Ben. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the broadcast. The Plus League's first half comes to a close with tonight's game. Coach, we talk about the physical play on the court. 27 fouls by the Pilots led to 30 free throws for the Braves. That might be a statistical thing, but really indicative of the competitive nature of the Plus League with just 4 teams in its first season.
Yeah, as we look at those stats right there, you can see the battle between the top 2 teams of the league right before vacation. Obviously not something that the Braves wanted to see, but good turnout today for the Pilots.
The Pilots share the basketball better, 25 assists to 18 by the Braves. Turnovers, both teams really high up there. I mean, it led to entertaining basketball in transition. That shooting percentage, 50% by the Pilots, 32.9% for the Braves. I mean, they didn't do it defensively, they didn't do it offensively. Coach Roger have a lot of things to talk about with the staff and the players. Really, with just a week off, they're going to let the guys go to their families and have New Year's, but then they got to turn around for games on the 20th and the 21st.
Yeah, we talk about these Braves usually doing a great job adjusting. Typically, the third quarter's been their best quarter, but these last 2 games really struggled in the third quarter. So now their challenge is after this Lunar New Year break, adjusting again and see if they can get back to how they played at the beginning of the year.
The first game back from the break will be February 20th. That's the Xingu Jiekou Lioneers right here in Taoyuan, taking on the Pilots, piling up their win total and making a move, trying to get that first seed. Will be an automatic bye, and then the Plus League Finals. Then the next day, Sunday the 21st, the Dreamers will take their shot at the Pilots, and the Lioneers will head to Taipei to take on the Braves, who you just saw. 2:30 tips and 5 p.m. tips. Like always, Plus Leagues thanks you for watching our streams. Give the stream a like, and we'll see you guys after the break.